comes from Krishna. That we have to understand. And while it has been given by the Lord, like he was opulent, but that opulence, King Indra, though he was ruling the heavenly kingdom, he was unable to accept this opulence of King Prithu, and he was not able to tolerate. And he is trying to see like how I can stop this 100th sacrifice. So that is what we are going to see it in the upcoming sloka and slide. I request Barnali Mataji to read the purport.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranams.
Hare
Purport
Krishna
by
Mataji.
Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. In this verse, there are three significant purposes expressed in the words Adhokshaja, Bhagavan, Indra, and Prithu. Maharaj Prithu is an incarnation of Vishnu, yet he is a great devotee of Lord Vishnu. Although an empowered incarnation of Lord Vishnu, he is nonetheless a living entity. As such, he must be a devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Although he is empowered by the Supreme Personality of Godhead and is an incarnation, he could not forget his eternal relationship with Supreme Personality of Godhead. In Kali Yuga, there are many self-made incarnations, rascals who declare themselves to be Supreme Personality of Godhead. The word Bhagavan Indra indicate that a living entity can even be as exalted as powerful as King Indra, or even King Indra even King Indra is an ordinary living entity in the material world and possesses the four defects of the conditioned souls. King Indra is described herein as Bhagavan, which is generally used in reference to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In this case, however, King Indra is addressed as Bhagavan because he has so much power in his hands. Despite his becoming Bhagavan, he is envious of the incarnation of God Prithu Maharaja. The defects of material life are so strong that due to contamination, King Indra becomes envious of an incarnation of God. We should try to understand therefore how a conditioned soul becomes fallen. The opulence of King Prithu was not dependent on material conditions, as described in this verse. He was a great devotee of Adhokshaja. The word Adhokshaja indicates the personality of Godhead, who is beyond the expression of mind and words. However, Supreme Personality of Godhead appears before the devotee in his original form of eternal bliss and knowledge. The devotee is allowed to see Supreme Lord face to face, although the Lord is beyond expression of our senses and beyond our direct perception. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thanks a lot. So how nicely Srila Prabhupada explaining here. So Bhagavan, here the Lord is called as Adhokshaja. Bhagavan can be called only Bhagavan. That name would be suitable only for Krishna because he possesses like the six opulences: Aishwaryasya, Samagrasya, Viryasya, Yashashriyaka, Jnana, Vairagya, Yoshaiva, Sannam, Bhaga, Idingana. Okay, easy to remember the six opulences is like by just remembering FOBS, FORBES, like we all know FOBS. Okay, F represents a fame, O represents like a opulence, uh, R represents renunciation, B represents a beauty, E represents education, which is knowledge, S represents strength. Okay, by remembering this six opulence, who possesses in full, in all the time, they only can be called as Bhagavan. Correct? But here, why Indra been called as like okay Bhagavan? If you see, Ashuyan Bhagavan Indraha. Okay, Indra been called as Bhagavan because sometimes like a Lord's devotee also will be called as Bhagavan. Couple of instances in Shrimad Bhagavatam, like where the devotees of the Lord being called as Bhagavan as well. We should not take like the literal meaning of it. Like we need to say take the internal aspect of like okay why they been called as Bhagavan. Okay, so though he been called as Bhagavan, he been mentioned as Bhagavan because Indra is holding a very big position, correct? The heavenly king, kingdom of like okay, all the heavens. In spite of that, he is still envious of King Prithu's opulence. How unfortunate it would be, correct? Still, he is coming into the defect of like the four defects of this material world, because uh, from Brahmaloka to Pataloka. So these four defects are like applicable, correct? The birth, death, old age, and disease. Like so, that is what been explained by Srila Prabhupada here. In spite of like Indra being called as Bhagavan, but still he is of exhibiting the enviness like towards the King Prithu's opulence. So as long as we are in this material world, we will be getting this defects, and it will keep us like rotating in this material world. Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam. Like keep on moving between birth, old age, disease, and like death. Then one more thing, like Srila Prabhupada explaining very nicely. Um, Conditioned soul becomes fallen. The opulence of King Prithu was not dependent on material condition. Because he was dependent on the mercy of the Lord, he was opulent. But if we think that, okay, I possess this, it is due to my power, it is due to my strength, it is due to my beauty, like the beauty being given by the Lord, correct? If we think that, okay, I am beautiful because of like my karma, etc., etc., then we will, we will, we will become fallen like a very sooner rather than later, like by the Lord. And one more thing is, though we don't have any quality and we don't have any capacity to see the Lord face to face by our limited senses, because Lord is like a beyond our imagination, beyond our capacity to understand, beyond our capability to receive Him or perceive Him. But He is so merciful to come in the deity form, to come in the Sankirtana moment, like he invested his energies. Okay, Namna Makari, Bhaguja Nija Sarva Sakti. Okay, he invested all his energies in the holy name, but we are so unfortunate. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying like he is unfortunate not to give the importance like for the chanting. Then what to speak of us? So we are so unfortunate like not to give the importance for chanting, because Lord is so merciful like to he invested his energies into the name of like a Rama, Krishna, Vishnu, Narayana, etc., etc. And his form, name, qualities, pastime, paraphernalia, there is no difference between all of these things. But still, we are so unfortunate like not to receive the Lord in in spite of like he is coming and knocking our door like in various opportunities, correct? That is what been explained by Srila Prabhupada here. So we have to understand with our material senses, or with our like knowledge, or the education, we can never understand Lord. Only with bhakti, only with the devotion, like we can get the mercy of the Lord. That has to be understood very thoroughly. Okay, Hare Krishna. So let's go to the slide. Uh, Again, once again, like I am just very blessed and privileged, like to be part of this satsang. Thanks for giving me the opportunity. I seek the blessing of all the assembled Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis, like so that the right word comes at the right moment, which would be beneficial for all of our spiritual progress. Hare Krishna. So we are in the fourth canto. In the 19th chapter, which is talking about like a King Prithus 100 horse sacrifices. Okay, let's see like the background why Prithu Maharaj 99 Ashwamedha Yajna is greater than Indra's 100 Ashwamedha Yajna. Okay, let's see. So I request everyone to be very attentive so that we all will be benefited like okay, by hearing this pastime. What are the learning points for every one of us from this pastime? So as we know, like okay, Srimad Bhagavatam is the Lord Krishna's transcendental body. So we are covering a portion of like okay, his transcendental body. So cantos are referring like various aspects of the body, like where canto 1 and 2 represents the lotus feet. of the Supreme Lord. 3 and 4 representing the thighs of the Lord. Fifth canto representing the navel of the Lord. Sixth canto representing chest of the Lord. Seventh and eighth canto representing arms of the Lord. Ninth canto representing the throat of the Lord. 10th canto is like it represents the lotus face of the Lord, the which is called like the Krishna book. The 11th canto representing forehead of the Lord, and the 12th canto representing the head of the Lord. Okay, the supreme transcendental body, and in each one, like it is talking about the introduction, sarga, visarga, like the primary creation, secondary creation, sthana, poshana, uti, like okay, how the auspicious and inauspicious inclination, then manvantara, ishanukata, like okay, how the whole material world is being created and how it is functioning, what's the difference between material world and spiritual world, how to take like the ashraya of the Lord, then how Lord Krishna's transcendental appearance in Gokul, and how he performed the leelas in like a Vrindavan, and how to attain the liberation, uh, how the four kinds of universal annihilation like happening, all those details like have been explained. It's a layered conversation, as we have seen. Like a first, Lord Krishna is explaining to Brahma in the Chatusloki of Srimad Bhagavatam. Then Brahma expanding that to like a Narada. Narada expanding to Vyasadeva. Okay, when Vyasadeva was in the very distressed state, like after, even though after writing the four Vedas, then you're saying like since you are not you didn't glorify the Lord's appearance and his pastime, then Vyasadeva like is speaking to Sukadeva Goswami in the village, like then Sukadeva Goswami speaking to Parikshit Maharaj and rishis with Sutta Goswami on the banks of Ganges, and Sutta Goswami explaining this to like a sages headed by Shaunaka rishis on the banks of Gomati river, Naimisharanya. Okay, and Vaishampayana narrated to King Janamejaya. Likewise, like there are with Srila Prabhupada's mercy and efforts uh, in the whole universe, like now, if you switch on like the ISKCON TV or the Hare Krishna TV, you'll be able to see the Shrimad Bhagavatam being spoken in many of the ISKCON temple in the morning lecture, correct? So there is a strength of like okay, the devotee association and Jai Srila Prabhupada. So benefits of hearing these pastimes, like we need to understand why we need to hear, like Shanvadam Swakada Krishnaka, Punya Shravana Kirtanaga, Hridiyantasto hi Abhadrani Vidnoti Sugar Sadam. So it cleanses the desire for material enjoyment from the heart, and by just giving the oral reception, the feeling for devotional service, if we attentively hear, then definitely like the feeling for devotional service will establish in our heart, which will extinguish the fire of lamentation, illusion, and fearfulness. So we need to understand like why we need to hear, just not for namesake. Okay, I just attend the Srimad Bhagavatam class because I don't have like anything to do. No, not for that manner. The Srimad Bhagavatam is like so glorious. It is the is king of all scripture, correct? Like so we need to understand why we need to hear, what is our benefit. Okay, so Krishna will be manifested in our hearts also, and we need to appreciate these pastimes, because these pastimes being performed by the Lord to attract the souls from the material world to the spiritual world. So we need to understand, we need to realize by using our real eyes, like okay, via the spiritual master, and it all these pastimes like reminds us how to perform our devotional service, how to do our sadhana, how to live in this material world uh, with the detachment, with the mood of detachment. Like that is what it has been talking. Krishna's energy, like been by we see like okay. All our surroundings, like if you see a tree, like it is Krishna's energy. If you see like the sun and moon is Krishna's energy. If you drink a water, it is like Krishna's energy. So we need to understand Krishna's energy, and we need to appreciate his energy, and we need to realize Krishna in every moment of our life. Okay. Then, so we have seen like the Swayambhu Manu's dynasty being explained, like okay, from the third canto, 21st chapter, till fifth canto, like a 15th chapter. So Swayambhu Manu like he has three daughters, like a Devakuti, Akuti, and a Prasuti, and two sons, Uttanapada and Priyavrata. Okay, now we are in the fourth canto, 19th chapter, which is coming under the dynasty of Uttanapada, like okay, which is talking about like a King Prithu, correct? So in some time back, like we have seen the King Anga, then King Vena, like Vena's son is Prithu. So we are seeing his pastimes now. So this is a Srimad Bhagavatam family tree. So it is coming from like okay, Lord Brahma, then Swayambhu Manu, like we have seen Swayambhu Manu's like three daughter Devahuti, Prasuti, Akuti, then Uttanapada and Priyavrata. Under Uttanapada, if you see like okay, the various things, then King Anga comes. From Anga, like a Vena comes. From Vena, like a Prithu Maharaj comes. Prithu Maharaj has five sons, like a four other sons, and Vijitsava. Vijitsava, like is very strong, and he will help to recover this horses. Like so that is the reason which is been shown like a separately. So that is how the family tree goes. Like okay, this is a little more the focused one. Okay, King Anga Vena and Vena's son like a Prithu's son is like a Vijitsava and four other sons. So let's see, like, okay, why King Prithu is performing this heart sacrifices. Like, what is the reason for doing this Ashwamedha Yajna, correct? Let us go. Like, okay, when we all know we have to perform the yajna. Okay, the yajna prescribed for this Kali Yuga is the Sankirtana yajna. Okay, by chanting the holy name of the Lord, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, we will get the full benefit of like okay, seeing the Lord to a Lord face to face, or we will see like a full benefit of like a performing the Ashwamedha Yajna. Correct. But Ashwamedha Yajna, like to perform Ashwamedha Yajna, it is not an easy task. It is very, very uh, so much things are involved. Correct. First, you need to identify the horse like which can go around the whole universe. Okay, that horse should be accepted by each kingdom, correct? Like the villages, towns, likewise, like the segregation been made, and it has to be accepted. The entry of the horse, like it should not be stopped. If the entry of the horse, like someone is stopping, then he is not accepting that king as the king of earthly king. Sorry, the king of like the earth, and the king like who given for that Ashwamedha Yajna, like he has to go and fight and win that kingdom. After that, like he has to perform again. So it is not easy task, like okay, and a lot of material things, a lot of like okay, the uplands like needed to perform one Ashwamedha Yajna. In this Kali Yuga, like it is impossible to perform Ashwamedha Yajna because like so many things are required, like starting from hearts, like okay, you need to be accepted by everyone and anyone and everyone, like you need to be accepted. For that, like you need to be powerful, you need to be like okay, kind enough to accept every living entity. So it is impossible like to perform in this Kali Yuga. But King Prithu was like accepted by everyone. So the reason he was able to perform 99 Ashwamedha Yajna. It is not easy task, correct? But so who performed like a more than Prithu? King Indra performed 100 Ashwamedha Yajna. So he was like a considered as a Satakritu. Satakritu means Sata means like a 100, Kritu means like a performing yajna. So he performed 100 Ashwamedha Yajna. So he was considered as like the great king, and he was given the title as the king of heaven. He was positioned as a king of heaven. Now, since Prithu Maharaj like a performed 99 Ashwamedha Yajna, and he was about to perform 100th Ashwamedha Yajna. Like he assembled everyone, and he identified the hearts, like it was about to begin. So at the time, like King Indra was so much worried. Okay, my title is going to go away, and uh, he his ego was tested, correct? Because he want to be number one. He want to be known as the only Satakratu in this whole universe is King Indra. So that title and that position he wants to hold. He don't want to like okay, leave that position, or he was fearing that okay, uh, someone is going to perform like 100 Ashwamedha Yajna and they are going to attain my position. Like so, he was unable to tolerate that. For that reason, he came as a mendicant form. Okay, as a fake sannyasi, he came to that particular Ashwamedha Yajna. So in that Ashwamedha Yajna, like who and all assembled. Okay, there are many devatas, Gandharvas, Apsaras, like sages, all were assembled, and they all given lot of like various gifts. Also, they brought like while they were assembled in the Ashwamedha Yajna, huh? Including like Nanda and Sunanda, who's Lord Vishnu's associates, like all the Kumaras. Everyone was present. So there, Indra could not able to tolerate, and he also coming in the form of the fake sannyasi, the mendicant. Like though he was wearing the sannyasa dress, like externally he was showing the renunciation, but internally he was showing the ego. Like his attitude was envy, but his attire was the renunciated attire, correct? Like so that we should not exhibit in this material world. So we also have like a various hat to wear, correct? Sometime in the office, sometime in the house, okay. But our internal attitude and external appearance both uh, has to be in the same position, correct? Externally, we should not act, and internally, like we should not have envy. So that learning point we have to exhibit in our life, like we have to practice in our life. So, be whatsoever the situation, let us show our right character and uh, the necessary character like we need to exhibit. We should not show two faces like to the outside world. It may be worthful for a very short time, but in longer run, like we accumulate so much karma, then we have to take birth in this material world again and again. So that has to be understood very, very thoroughly, and we have to practice it. So then in Indra envious of like a Prithus opulences, okay, though the king kingdom of heaven was considered as the bigger than like a kingdom of earth, correct? King Prithu was the king of the earthly kingdom, okay? But Indra was considered as the kingdom of Indra was holding the position of like a king of heaven. Though king of heaven position was like a more higher than like okay the king of earth, but still um, Indradev like he was unable to tolerate that opulence of King Prithu. He considered like okay, Prithu is going to attain a bigger position than me, and I need to stop somehow like this 100th yeah, Ashwamedha Yajna like a performance, and so that like he came as a mendicant form. Okay, then he stole the horse like a which was about to get sacrificed in the Ashwamedha Yajna like a because horse is the important element like in the Ashwamedha Yajna. So Indra was thinking, okay, if I steal this horse, then definitely the sacrifice will not happen, the yajna will not happen. So he will be in the 99th position only, like he will not move to the 100th Ashwamedha yajna. So he stole the horse in the mendicant form. He was running like then Prithu was ordering his son Vijisava like, okay, to go and find the horse. Okay, at the time Atri Muni, who's their spiritual master, he is suggesting even to kill Indra. Please get the horse and like kill Indra. But Vijit like not killing Indra because he wants to give the respect to the position like which he came in. First of all, he is like a king of heaven, and the second thing is like he was wearing the mendicant dress, though he was exhibiting the fake renunciation, but still Vijit like okay agreed to forgive him, and he taken back the horse, and he left Indra like okay by forgiving. Then they were about to perform the sacrifice. Again, like Indra came in the mendicant form and he stole the horse again. This was going again and again. Like then Prithu Maharaj was very furious. Okay, he couldn't able to accept this at all. Then then Prithu Maharaj like ready to take up his bow and arrow. Like then he told that okay, I'm going to kill Indra because he is not letting this sacrifice happening, and I can't tolerate this. Okay, so at the time, all the priests assemble like a brahmanas. They are trying to console Prithu. No, in this yajna, only the horse can be sacrificed, not King Indra. So let us try to chant some mantra so that like a King Indra would be like a losing his position, like he will deprived of like a many opulences. They were about to do that at the time. Lord Brahma appearing in that arena, like Lord Brahma knows, okay, situation is not good in that sacrificial arena. Let me appear, like so. He appeared, and he is instructing Brahmana and all the priests, like okay, you should not kill Indra because he is part of the Lord's transcendental body, as we have seen. We all are like everyone is part and parcel of like the Supreme Lord. Okay, so we should not have any ego or enmity with anyone, because if we are having enmity with anyone, like it is as good as like having enmity with Lord Shri Krishna. So this yajna is meant to satisfy the demigods, like okay, and they are all part of Indra's body. So what is the reason for like a performing yajna in the third chapter of Bhagavad Gita 3.9? We have seen like a yajnata karmano anyatra lokoyam karma bandhanaha tadartam karma kaunteya mukta sangha samachara, correct? So the yajna has to be performed to please the Lord, to satisfy the Lord, correct? Uh, it is to be performed to please the Lord, and King Prithu is performing not for his own personal benefit. He wants to please the Lord, and uh, he wants to show the prosperity to the kingdom and all the living beings like in his kingdom, correct? For that reason only, like he is performing. Even in this before this chapter 17 and 18th also, when he come to know like okay, he's not getting the proper rain and uh, the opulence, like he's ready to even punish the earth, correct? Like okay, the earth was coming in the cow form, and he was chasing like the cow because you are not giving the proper resources to the earth. Then the cow is like telling okay, these are things you need to do. Then is showing the sacrifice like and getting all the opulences from the cow form, correct? So he is ready to do anything for his people, correct? For that reason only he is performing this yajna. So performing this yajna, like the demigods and the Lord Vishnu and Lord Krishna is satisfied, and so they give like a more resources for his kingdom. So the kingdom is flourishing. Like for that reason he is performing. But King Indra's understanding is not that. Like he wants to hold his position, like he wants to have that Satakritu, like okay, only for himself. So for that reason, like he is performing. So Brahma is reinstating that okay, the yajna is performing to please the Lord, and the demigods and all the other, including Indra, like he is part of his transcendental body. So you should not kill Indra. Okay. So Indra's attempt disturbed the dharma. Like obviously, Brahma is accepting Indra's attempts. Like okay, he came as a mendicant form, and whatever he does, like okay, it is not correct. It is not appreciated. But uh, we don't want to like create more controversy. So he is pleading to Prithu Maharaj. Okay, please let this 99 Ashwamedha Yajna. You stop with like a 99 Ashwamedha Yajna because you already pleased Lord, correct? Like hey, and by not performing one more yajna, you are going to please the Lord more, correct? Because at the end of the day, like King Indra also, the devotee of the Lord, he is holding a very big position also. Rather than Brahma going and educating like a Lord Indra, he's coming and like, okay, pleading to Prithu Maharaj. We will see like a why that is. So he's informing Prithu Maharaj the path of liberation is like what is the purpose of doing these sacrifices to please Krishna, to please Lord Vishnu. So you already pleased like because by giving up this anger, both you and Indra like are part and parcel of the Lord, and you are pleasing the Lord, correct? Like by forgiving uh, Indra and Indra's behavior, like you are pleasing Lord. And you are stopping the spreading of like irreligious practices, because Indra is not going to stop. So if you are trying to perform the Ashwamedh Yajna one more time, he will come in another form and like will try to stop. So that promotes the irreligion thing. Like it is spreading irreligion to the max. So let that irreligion like not spreading more. So let us stop that. Okay. So purpose of your incarnation also to protect religious principle. Like okay, by forgiving him, by stopping this yajna, like you are going to please the Lord and you are going to protect the religious principles. So that is how Brahma is requesting Prithu to make a peace agreement like with Indra, and by doing that, like a demigods are pleased. Okay, by doing that, like a Brahmanas are so pleased. Like so, that is how the 99, the 100th Ashwamedha Yajna by Prithu Maharaj been stopped. But by stopping that, King Prithu's 99 Ashwamedha Yajna is greater than uh, King Indra's 100 Ashwamedha Yajna. Though in quantity, like in count wise, like King Indra has like 100 Ashwamedha Yajna, and the Prithu Maharaj has like only 99. He performed only 99. But in the quality wise and in the from the Lord's point of view, the 99 Ashwamedha Yajna is like a greater than uh, the 100th Ashwamedha Yajna. Okay. So then Lord Vishnu also appeared. Like, okay, that is another beautiful thing like it happened. Vishnu appeared and like he is glorifying Prithu Maharaj, and like then Prithu Maharaj like offering the prayers uh, in the sequential like okay conversation. So from this whole thing, like we can understand how Brahma exhibited like the superior quality of a leadership, correct? When the King Indra also like a leader of the King of Heaven, and Prithu Maharaj is like a King of Earth. So those two kings or two leaders are like a reporting to Brahma, and like a finally Brahma reporting to Vishnu. So, but he exhibited the leadership quality. He didn't reject um, Indra's position. He didn't say, okay, Indra, you did a lot of wrong things. Like I am removing you from the post of Indra, and from tomorrow, like, okay, or today, Prithu Maharaj will be the king of heaven. He didn't he didn't reject it. He given the opportunity for him to transform rather than rejecting. Okay, so that King Indra become he understood. Okay, whatever I was doing like a wrong, and he was requesting forgiveness from Prithu Maharaj. So that also like happens many a times in our life, where we have to exhibit like the leadership quality. It is not about like okay, always winning. There is a very subtle difference, like a subtle difference between ego and the what to say, like okay, our understanding of like how we can perform the activity. So if I can do the activity, that is self-confidence, correct? I can win. I will be able to win. If I only can win, I only want to win, then it becomes ego, correct? That is what Indra was possessing. Like okay, he was possessing. I only need to be called as Satakritu. I only can want to be a title of like okay, holding the title of 100 Ashwamedha Yajna, performer of like 100 Ashwamedha Yajna. That is not what like okay Lord wanted. Lord wanted, he want like okay the humbleness and the submissiveness like a attitude. Indra was stubborn in his dealings, but King Prithu was like okay, submissive in all his activity. King Prithu was like a responsible to protect his citizens and to perform the yajna. But the Indra was like a irresponsible. He, though he was holding a very high position, he he is ready to do anything to preserve or like to protect his title. Correct? That is not appreciated at all. And Prithu was like always on the dependence of the Lord. He was always like seeking the mercy of the Lord. He is ready to do anything like a for the will of the Lord, like a for the Lord. But King Indra was in the very what to say like he's in an unsafe environment. Like he is thinking, okay, I'm going to lose my title, so I have to do like okay, uh, I can't afford to this happen. Okay, he was uh, he was not ready. Like okay, he was showing the insecurity. That is what important. Like he is insecure feeling. Like though he was ruling the kingdom of heaven, still he was feeling insecure from Prithu Maharaj, right? And Prithu Maharaj exhibited the humbleness. Indra was exhibited the enviness. Okay, then he was like always in the submissive mode, King Prithu, but King Indra was like in the stubborn mode. And these are the things like we can learn how to be in the mood of King Prithu and how to not to be in the mood of like a Indra. We should not chastise Indra also because he was doing this pastime by the will of the Lord. The similar thing like happened in what is that like a Govardhan Leela also, correct? In Govardhan Leela also, if you see like who given the the toughest trouble or like a uh, very worst of the trouble to Vrajavasis, it is not by demons, it is not by Kamsa, like it is not by anyone. It is by King Indra because he was pouring torrential rains. Okay, it was unbearable for anyone and everyone in Vrindavan. Okay, uh, even though he does that activity, but still Krishna didn't reject him. He didn't remove from his position of like okay the king of heaven. He given the opportunity for uh, him to like rectify his mistakes and so that like he can transform himself to get the mercy of the Lord. So that is the another great leadership quality exhibited by Lord also. Okay, so that is how like a prayers of Prithu Maharaj been done. So again, like all these things we have already seen. So if you see like a purpose and preparation, all these sacrifices like a been performed for what purpose? It is it is to please the Lord. The horse sacrifice, performed like to please the Lord and to affirm his sovereignty and uphold dharma. And he chose like at the banks of Ganges River, like as a sacred location to perform this yajna. He invited sages, priests, everyone, like performing yajna. 99 Ashwamedha yajna already completed successfully. Each yajna involved releasing a consecrated like a horse to roam freely. If any king tried to stop, like it was taken as a challenge for Prithu's authority, and his army like he would respond. They have to go and fight like he to get back that kingdom. Prithu never misused his power, though he was like a performed 99 Ashwamedha Yajna. He ruled justly, like and the yajnas were carried out like with perfect discipline and devotion. Like he was performing all these yajna like only to please the Lord. And Indra's jealousy and interference, like okay, when Prithu prepared for the 100th yajna, Indra, the king of heaven, became jealous. Like at the time, he came to stop the yajna performance and resolution by Vishnu. Like Prithu son went and like take back those horses. And eventually, like a Lord Vishnu also finally came along with Brahma, and they try to ask like they're asking Prithu to stop the yajna, and they given the chance for Indra to transformed to seek the forgiveness from King Prithu. So Prithu accepted the Lord's words and gave up the final yajna, gaining even greater spiritual merit. Okay, he got the merit of more than the 100 Ashwamedha yajna performance. That is the reason, in 99, King Prithu's 99 Ashwamedha yajna is greater than King Indra's 100 Ashwamedha yajna. Okay, sometime uh, in the devotional life also, we may lose in some occasions with some devotees when we have some quarrel or conversation with them or debate with them. By losing, we are winning the heart of the Lord and heart of other devotees. Okay, it is not about all winning all the time. It is not about okay, I win in the conversation, I win the debate. No, by losing, we win many hearts as well, in the devotional thing. So that is the reason, a Lord sees our intention more than our Lord sees the intent more than the content, correct? Okay, many a times he sees the pure intent of our heart. Sometimes to manage the situation, we may agree to be insulted, we may agree to be defeated, we may agree to get a failure, okay, but what is more important, uh, to gain the mercy of the Lord, to gain the mercy of the devotees, blessing of the devotee. That is what important thing we can learn from this as well. Okay, so this is what the different aspect of a King Prithu and King Indra. Origin, how the King Prithu was coming from the lineage of a Vena and sage's intervention, and King was Indra was Kashyapam and Aditi's son, and divine status incarnation of Lord Vishnu, here a king of Devadas. He was the first ideal king, established agriculture also, because King Prithu was ruling the kingdom in a very, very perfect manner, because he was doing the things for his Prajapatis, for his people, in the kingdom. Unlike the modern rulers, who wants to benefit their own pocket, their own family, a lot of things. Okay, for a self-motive approach, correct? But King Prithu was in a first ideal king, and King Indra was the ruler of Swarga, heaven, controller of rain as well. Main qualities exhibited by King Prithu is righteous, humble, wise, detached, and King Indra was so powerful, proud, or sometimes jealous and insecure. Okay, which insecure is very important. So for that reason only, he was coming and stopping the 100th Ashwamedh Yajna. Spiritual inclination, a deeply spiritual, renounced the worldly life. Okay, but he was King Indra was a devotional but prone to material attachment. Though he was in the he came as a mendicant form, but he was internally he was having the attitude of okay, material attachment. The leadership style, he is benevolent, a just and people oriented, but Indra was authoritative, a protective of his status and his title of Satakritu. Correct. Attitude toward dharma, he was King Prithu was a strong upholder of dharma, but King Indra was sometimes deviates from dharma out of fear and pride. Famous incident forgave Indra after Yajna disturbance. Here tried to stop Prithu's 100th Yajna out of jealousy. Relationship with others, he was respected by sages and citizens, but here often at odds with the sages and aesthetics. Legacy, he was considered as ideal kingship and renunciation. Here mixed legacy, a powerful but morally flawed, because he was practicing the irreligious practice. He came in the mendicant form, but just to steal the horse, correct? So that the performance of 100th Ashwamedh Yajna will be stopped. That is obviously the irreligious practice. He is against the dharma. King Prithu was symbolizing the ideal ruler and a selfless leadership. But here Indra was a fallibility of power, ego among divine beings. Okay. So again, his intention was performing Ashwamedh Yajna to please the Lord here, but to protect his title and jealous. He was calm, composed, a dharma oriented. Here insecure again, envious and threatened. He used to righteously to serve the people and honor tradition, but here he abused divine powers to sabotage the yajna. He displayed a self-control. When Lord came and appeared, he is uh, ready to uh, not to do the 100th Ashwamedh Yajna. But here, he is ultimately accepted correction after Lord Vishnu's intervention. So spiritual maturity, he was demonstrated humility, detachment, and forgiveness. But here, he was initially driven by ego, later showed a repentance. Correct. Initially, he was showing the ego. Then later, he was showing a repentance. Oh, I made a huge mistake. I need to seek the forgiveness from King Prithu. Then moral message conveyed a ideally king behavior, a duty over pride. But here, King Indra was power must be tempered by humility, a fallibility even among gods as well. Outcome earned great honor and a spiritual merit because the Lord Vishnu is appearing in front of Prithu, because he was performing all this yajna to please the Lord, to get the mercy of the Lord. But getting the opportunity to see Lord face to face is a greater merit, correct? He got it, even though he was not performing the 100th Ashwamedh Yajna. Here, Indra also got the merit, from the Lord. He got the opportunity to repentance, and he got the opportunity to get seek the forgiveness from King Prithu, and but exposed as a warning against pride. So Lord uses his devotees also to be the what to say instrument, correct, uh, in the will of the Lord. Um, so that is how Indra got the mercy as well. So key points the true leader act as a humble servant of Lord, a living entity. Brahma exhibited this a leadership quality. He didn't reject Indra's position, but reform or transform him as he was seeking forgiveness. Yajna has to be performed to please Lord Vishnu, and the prosperity of the citizens has to be the benefit by performing yajna. And we from this episode, from this past time, we'll understand why Prithu Maharaj 99 sacrifice is greater than Indra's 100. Humility is the noble of noble stuff. If all virtue, we need to be humble because Trinada Pisunisha and Tarura Pisagishna, we need to practice it. All services are sanctioned and approved by the Lord. So we should never be proud of what we hold, whatever position we hold. Everything will go one day or the other day, but only the devotion service will stay with us, it will come with us forever. So let us try to learn how not to be obsessed, or we should not exhibit the King Indra's envy character, and be in a King Prithu's character by being a submissive and humble and accepting anything whatever Lord wanted. Pray to Krishna, as this pride should not overwhelm us. We always need to be afraid of this material world. We need to be submissive to the Lord and his devotees. We should be humble and not become greedy for the credits for the service done. Another business and a sloka has to be come to our reference. And the modern rulers are materially motivated, unlike Rajarishis who worked for the welfare of the people and society. So always perform devotion service. Satatam kitentomam ananyaskintayentomam yogenchita satatam. Okay, constantly. That is the way we have to perform the devotion service. Again, once again, thanks for giving me the opportunity. Whatever you can take it from this pastime. It is all glories has to go to Srila Prabhupada and all the great devotees of the Krishna consciousness movement. If I have said anything wrong, please, it is due to my ignorance. Please forgive me for that. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Prabhuji, last but one slide, can you repeat?
Yes, Prabhu, yeah. So we have to perform the devotion service all the time, not at our convenience, not when we are we are like, okay, I'm having free time, I will perform devotion service. When I am not free, like, I have other things to do. No, the devotional service has to be performed consistently all the time. It is like a the explanation of the devotional service being explained as savai pumsam paro dharmo yato bhakti radoksaje ahaituki apratihata yayatma suprasidati. So it has to be performed to the adoksaja, like to Lord Krishna, and it has to be Ahaituki apratigata. Ahaituki means like it is without any self motive, and apratigata it is uh, without any break. Like, okay, it has to be performed consistently. Okay, so that is the topmost devotion service. So that's what in various slokas, like in Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, like a Chaitanya Charitamrita, it has been said like a Nirantara, Satatam, Ananyas, like, okay, then constantly, consistently, that has been mentioned. So that is what like I mentioned in this slide. There are many other places also it has been mentioned. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Sumangala Hari Devi Masini, you can ask the question.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandat pranams. Very nice class, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Mataji.
For me, the notes I have taken, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Prabhuji, I just wanted to clarify this, Prabhuji. Is my understanding correct? Whenever there is a misunderstanding or some kind of a, not quarrel actually, between the devotees, wherein the things which you showed the slides, I could understand that demigod Indra was also a demigod and part and parcel of the Lord, and
Yeah.
and Prithu Maharaj was also an incarnation of the Lord himself. So there was some fight, kind of misunderstanding and fight between them. So it
Yeah.
is just past time for us to show and to put us on the right path. So, and I just wanted to know, Prabhuji, whenever there is a misunderstanding between two devotees of the Lord. So, whenever sometimes we also think that about ourselves, like, that like we are forgiving them because of their nature. So we always think that we are better than them. So this kind of things are also there. So we are like thinking about ourselves, like,
Yeah. Yeah.
okay. Okay, she is like this, so I am very humble and I am doing good, something like that. So that is also a trick of Maya, no, Prabhuji, like to think ourselves that we are far
Yeah.
better
Yeah.
than.
Yeah, correct, Madhi. Very, very nice question. Very nice realization. Yeah, that is correct. Like sometimes we'll be overwhelmed with that forgiveness also. Yeah, that devotee is like that only. I am ready to forgive him. Like I'm ready to forgive her. Yeah, that also like a trick of Maya. Very rightly said, and we have to be very, very aware of that. Okay, uh, that is the reason. Like we want to be humble. Okay, Lord given or like a make this situation happen only for to benefit me from not to trick Maya, not to get like okay attached to or get trapped to the Maya. So that devotee like hey maybe closer to Lord and uh, something I need to learn from the situation. Let me not accumulate any more karma by just either commenting or like by just having the proudness of like a forgiveness also. It's very, very delicate situation. Yeah, we have to handle with care. Very, very nice realization. Yeah, we should not get tricked by Maya like in that aspect also. Yeah, very, very rightly said. Like so for that we have to see like a Lord created the situation for me to learn something. So let me not get attracted to the material things like a including like the forgiveness I am doing like out of my compassion. No, it is Lord given me this situation like let me learn something from that, and let us be very, very cautious about it. Yes, Madhuri. Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, there was an intervention of Brahmadev in between as a leader to
Yeah.
sort out the problem, misunderstanding. So, and guidance also. So, as
Yeah.
devotee, how could we approach Prabhuji, any senior devotee?
Yeah,
Should,
correct. We have many Shiksha Guru and our Guru Maharaj is there. Like so, we need to seek the forgiveness. Like uh, if you internally desire something, okay, Krishna, this situation is happening. Please guide me, like how to do this. So first of all, like the senior devotees, like a lot of Siksha gurus are there. So the honest well-wisher, like we have to approach them. And when we have the desire, like the uncontaminated desire, the Lord is within us, correct? As Shirodagashai Vishnu, He will guide us, like and our Guru Maharaj will guide us. Though we are separated from Guru Maharaj, but still He will guide us, like how to face that situation when we have the right intention.
Thank you,
Okay,
Prabhuji.
Mataji? Yeah,
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Kripamayi Sita Devi Dasi Mataji and then Shobha Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
We have 10 more minutes. Yes, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Very nice session, Prabhuji. Detailed, you explained everything clearly. Just I want to know that the opulences of Lord Krishna, you told no, FOBs, FORBES. Forbearance, F is for forbearance, no, Prabhuji.
No, F is for fame, Mataji, fame.
Fame.
Because Krishna is so famed, correct? Like he is known by like many and anyone. Like he is the supreme personality of Godhead. F represents fame, O represents opulence, okay. R represents renunciation, okay. B represents beauty, okay.
Yes,
E represents the education, which is knowledge, okay. Then S represents strength. Yeah.
Yes,
So
Prabhuji.
Aishwarya, yeah, Mataji, yeah.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you.
That is from the sloka, like I think Parasara Muni, so that like Aishwaryasya Samagrasya Viryasya Yashasha Shriyaka. Yashasha means like the fame. Yashasha Shriyaka, Shriyaka like a beauty. Aishwarya means like a opulence. Aishwaryasya Samagrasya Viryasya strength.
Prabhuji. The sloka.
Yeah, Maji.
Those are the 6 opulences,
Yeah.
no, Prabhu?
Yes, Mataji.
Those
Sloka
are the
number.
6 opulences, no? 6
Sloka.
opulences. Strength,
Yeah, 6
wealth, beauty,
opulences. Yeah,
knowledge,
correct. Like
fame and
it is.
renunciation.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, exactly. That is what like it's been explained very easily from this one. It is
Yes.
Aishwar. Yes. Yeah. Samag. Yeah.
Shobha Mataji and then
So
Padma
this
Mataji.
sloka comes in. I think.
Sloka number.
Yeah, it is from there. Like I will tell you. This is not from. It's from some Vishnu Purana only. Like I think so. Yeah. Padma Purana or Vishnu Purana. Like I think. Yeah. This come Vishnu Purana 6.5.47. Aishwaryasya Samagrasya Viryasya Shashriyaka.
Thank you,
Prabhuji,
Prabhuji.
in Bhagavatam, Shloka 1.2.6, Prabhupada has mentioned this in the purport.
Yeah, correct. Many purports like it has been mentioned. Yeah. It is this sloka is like from the Vishnu Purana 6.5.47. Only Krishna can be called as Bhagavan. Okay, not anyone else like it can be called as Bhagavan. For that, like if someone can be called as Bhagavan, like they have to possess this 6 qualities, like 6 opulences. That is what like and it is not only possessing the 6 opulences, they have to possess in full and in all the time. Some may be like a beautiful, but they may not be exhibiting the strength characteristics or the opulence. Like some may be strong, they may not be beautiful, correct? But Krishna possesses all the things, all the 6 opulences in full, in all the time. That is the reason only Krishna can be called as Bhagavan. Okay, so that is what Bhaga means, like a opulence. Just like if you see, just like sometimes speak Bhagavan, like that comes from this word like a Bhaga. Similarly, Bhagavan, like a Bhagavan means the owner of all opulences all the time. Okay, so there are now like nowadays so many Bhagavans, like, but they are not owner of all opulences. Maybe partially, maybe like in that beauty also. If you see like the beautiful creature in this material universe, if you go and bring near to Krishna, like they are not beautiful as like a Krishna's nail in his lotus feet. Okay, so that is how like Krishna is so great in possessing all these opulences, like how renunciating, how he hold all the opulences, but he was ready to do the chariot driver for Arjuna. Like a chariot driver will be signaled by Arjuna. How? Okay, from Arjuna will press his by using his legs. Like, okay, if he wants to go left side, like he will press the left side of like the hip of Krishna. So he's ready to do anything and everything for his friends. Okay, so that is the greatness of Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Yeah.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Prabhu. Pranams.
Yeah.
Thank you for
Hare Krishna.
wonderful session. Please just one thing, like as we see these Indra's Lord Krishna's pastime with when Indra is every time like in the Govardhan Leela or in this Prasu Maharaj's Leela. So, Prabhuji, like, can we give these as an example of shlokas like, that come in Bhagavad Gita 9.30, where Lord is saying that even if most abomination action is done by my devotee, still he's not considered fallen because he's practicing devotional service, or my devotee never perishes, something like this, or is it different?
Yeah, it is in a way like it is correct only, Mataji, because like Indra being put into that situation for to showcase like in the world, however powerful, however like a great position you are holding, still uh, you are ready to like you are no you are getting like the chance to fall into that particular material tricks, okay, by the Maya tricks. So we have to be always like uh, fearful of this material world, okay, because a moment only needed, a moment, just this moment needed for a devotee to become a, a devotee to fall from a great position to a lowest of the lowest, and that moment only needed for a non-devotee, or like I don't say non-devotee, it is like from a fallen position to come into the exalted position of a devotee. We have so many instances, correct? Ajamila, who was performing great devotion service, just seeing like okay, someone uniting, and he fallen from there. The same Ajamila, Ajamila, like in that position. Then was that Vrajay Prasitam who was singing that? No,
Bharat
Vrajay.
Maharaj.
Bharat Maharaj, like Bharat Maharaj, he came, he was ruling the kingdom for so many years. Okay, yeah, he was ruling the kingdom for so many years. Like okay, he came to the forest to perform the devotional service, but just the attachment towards a deer, okay, he fallen from there. And Vilva Mangala Thakur, like okay, he was very fond of like associating with that prostitute, correct? Like that prostitute just given, okay, if you shown this attachment towards the Lord, you go into different position. Like at that moment, changed his position like a from fallen position to the exalted position. The similar manner, like okay, Bharat Maharaj, then Vishwamitra Muni, he was controlling all his senses, but just the tinkling sound of like the anklet of the Menaka, like a Rambar, Urvasi, like immediately like he was disturbed, and he came out from the position. Like these are the things given. Lord exhibited all these pastimes like just to showcase like how a moment can change our position from fallen to great position, and like a great position to a fallen position. So that is the takeaway. Rather than commenting, okay, I will not worship Indra, or I will not give the respect to Indra. How Indra can act like against the Prithu? Indra is so bad. Rather than thinking about all those things, let us think, okay, what is the learning for me? What is in it for me? How I can exhibit the qualities of Prithu in my life, and how I will not exhibit the quality of Indra. That is the learning like which we have to take from each and every moment of our life. Okay? Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Dhanwad.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Prabhu, you have little time. We have two more raised hands.
Yeah, sure, Madji, no problem. Yeah.
Yeah. Padma Mataji and then Subbarao Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you so much for the nice class, so
Hare
much
Krishna.
explanation. Prabhu, what I want to know, actually my question may sound very silly to you, but to me,
Yeah.
it's my, like, inquisitiveness. About this horse sacrifice, why do they let the horse run? If they want to sacrifice, they can straightaway, they can just sacrifice on the fire. Why is it made such a big thing? Can you please explain?
I honestly I don't have the right answer, Maji, but it is an elaborate process which was prescribed for that particular yuga. For example, in the Satya Yuga, what was prescribed it was the meditation, correct? We don't need to ask why people are sitting idle and meditate. That is the prescribed way of attaining the Lord in that particular yuga. The sacrifices for Treta Yuga, correct? Then
Yeah.
in the Treta Yuga also various sacrifices been made. Even Dasharatha Maharaj how he got a Ram Lakshman Bharat Shatrughan by performing some sacrifice from there some payasam comes which would be consumed by various of his wife, correct? That is how. So that is the prescribed method to perform or to attain the Lord, the elaborate process. Okay. So then in the Dwapara Yuga it is a deity worship, and in Kali Yuga it is the chanting the holy name of the Lord, Sankirtan Yajna. We can't comment why how is it possible by just chanting the holy name of the Lord I will attain the Lord. It is impossible. Can we question like that? No, it is
No,
not
Prabhu,
possible
that I
because
can understand. But here
no
they are making the horse run, and then someone catches the horse, and
no
then
no
what
no
happens?
yeah, see, running the horse is just they are getting the acceptance from uh, all the uh, all the kings from the earth. Okay, if someone
Yeah.
stopping that horse, then they are showing rejection of a Prithu Maharaj as a king of earth. And so Prithu has to go and fight with them and has to gain their confidence. That is the process being explained in the Vedas and in the particular sacrifice. So that much only I can think of, to be frank.
Yeah, so that means ultimately it's Prithu has to go and catch the horse. Yeah. That's what you mean?
No, the horse will be a sent forth. They will choose a lot of things are there. Honestly, I also don't know much of it to be frank in terms of how it was. The horse will be chosen, how it will go and ready to roam around the whole universe. That is a process being explained. So rather than we thinking too much about how the horse been chosen, why all those things, let us focus, because we have very limited time, correct?
Yeah, okay, maybe next time.
Questioning is good.
Maybe next time.
No, I'm saying no, rather than too much of wasting on this particular thing. Let us focus on the devotion service. That has to be our mood and motive, to be frank. Yeah, it has done for a reason. Okay, it has done for a reason. If we start exploring more and more how Aswamedha Yajna is going to be performed, how what other materials are going to be used, it will take a lot of time for us. May not
No, Prabhuji, I'm not asking
lifetime
all the materials. I'm asking
also
the process.
so we have a
Then
very
he
limited
has,
time. Let us focus more on the
he has to,
yeah.
I all want to know whether Prithu Maharaj has to go and catch the horse. That's what I want to know.
No, he will not go and catch the horse, Mataji. He will send the horse to
Yeah.
everywhere all around the world. So that horse has to be accepted by the king. Okay. If some kings are rejecting that, then Prithu Maharaj has to go and go on a fight with that king and gain their confidence. Okay.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you,
Okay,
Prabhuji.
Manji. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thanks, Manji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Subbarao Prabhu, you want to ask? Though we don't have much time. Hare Krishna. I think he must have raised for reading.
Okay,
Hare
Manji,
Krishna,
okay.
Mataji. Hare
Yeah,
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, Prabhu.
One doubt I wanted.
Yes, Prabhu.
Actually, Prabhuji, Vishnu, Lord Vishnu is also present in the arena of the yajna.
Yeah.
When it is such a highest standard one, how Indra could venture to steal the horse again and again? Was he not thinking he's doing something against Supreme Personality of Godhead,
Yeah.
Dharma?
Yeah.
That is one. Second, and Aswamedha Yajna, what all we understand from earlier epics was, once some person stops it, he is ready to take a war with the person who is
Yeah, correct.
performing. Here,
Yeah.
this is all like stealing and going and like a thief. It is this type of Aswamedha Yajna, cashing and all is not commonly heard. When once you hold it, you are ready for the fight. Prove yourself and either win or lose.
Yeah.
Here, every
Okay.
time it's only being stolen and again disappearing. So these 2 points are really.
Yeah, Prabhu. No. First, understand like one thing. Lord Vishnu came after the Ashwamedha Yajna been stopped. Like Brahma was pleading to Prithu Maharaj to stop the Yajna. Like he agreed. After that only, like Vishnu is appearing. Okay. One more thing is why King Indra performed the stealing of it, like by came as a mendicant. His envy ensured that like, hey, I can do anything to retain my position. Like, okay, so he is ready even to go against the principles of dharma. So that is what, like, okay, when we are envious, when we are having ego attitude, okay, we will go any extent to protect our title. That should not be done. That is what the learning for us, like from this episode, from this pastime. The second thing which you asked, like, okay, King Indra was like a heavenly king. Okay, he was not fighting for the earthly king, but he was afraid of like a losing his title of like a Satakritu, correct? For that reason. But here we are talking about like a the horse will go and the king will fight like a that is on the earthly kings like a who can oppose. And so Prithu will go and fight against them. Okay. Again, here also the enviness, though the king of heaven is like a consider as greater than king of earth, but still he was unable to tolerate like okay to lose his position or like a someone equaling his position. That is what like okay King Indra was like unable to accept it, and he came here like to stop that yajna. Okay, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji. That
Okay.
is one, and here within the 4th verse of this chapter itself, it is mentioned that Lord Vishnu is present, Brahma is present, and Shiva is present.
See,
Very 4th
Lord,
verse.
yeah, Lord Vishnu is present like a in a subtle form, like a but later he is coming and entering like into the arena physically. Okay.
So that's what confused me, Prabhupada, because in 4th verse itself, in very beginning, we had Vishnu was present. So that's what my doubt was.
Yeah, it is like
Like
a Vishnu and his associates like in a subtle form. Any yajna, whenever we are
Vidyadhara
performing
and
like
all
a yeah, correct. When the yajna purusa, like a he will present in a subtle form, like a which we may not be able to see, okay, face to face. But the later part, like okay, Vishnu is coming and present himself like in a face to face form. Okay, Prabhu.
Prabhupada. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Madji. Thanks a lot for
Hare Krishna.
everyone to
Thank
join.
you so
Hare
much,
Krishna.
Prabhu. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna, Madji.
Vancha kalpatarubhyascha
Patarbhyascha
kripa
kripa sindhu
sindhubhya
paridhanam
Paritanam
pavanebhyo
Pavanebhyo
Vaishnavebhyo
Vaishnavebhyo
namo
Namo Namaha
Gaur
Ananta Kodi
Vaishnavebhyo
Jai
Vaishnavebhyo
Srila
Jai
Prabhupada.
Shri Prabhupada Jayanati Gaur Premadhari Hari Bol.
Sri
Hare
Ram
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Prabhu, thank you so much. I'll end the class.
Thanks a lot, Maji. Yeah, please, Maji. I am
Hare
also.
Krishna,
Hare
Prabhupada,
Krishna.
Pranam.
Prabhu
Thank you,
Dharma.
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna.
Thank
Hare
you,
Krishna to
Hare
all
Mataji.
Krishna.
devotees.